room I usually do it in, but slightly positioned differently. Getting ready soon to have our late dinner. Part of it is fast prep, and the other part of it isn't the other thing. So, I just wanted to come and do a quick podcast. Hopefully the connection will be. Last time I did one this way, it was for actually a surprising amount of time, and then it dropped. It was a little bit dippy. But so I'm kind of testing that out too, because the nice option is it's portable and I can bring a guest in this way. But if I have another one, well, when she has me on, she'll be doing it for her in that way. But I don't know if I turned the heat off because I know I had the oven on, but just recently. Anyway, so I just wanted to do a really quick podcast here. And basically, basically cough cake. Bye. Just kidding. Need to be in there. And you'll hear Glenn on the piano downstairs shortly too. But so as some people that follow the channel know, and before you judge it, if you're prone to possibly doing so, until you've had I'm just trying to remember how to turn on the chat, but maybe it's already on. Until one's had experiences or, is closely connected with someone who does and hears those out, you can't judge. You can't judge. I mean, I had I think I did say it in the previous video, but I had quite an experience today, actually, mild, in public, actually, which thankfully mine and others, I think I'm just, with ADHD and whatever else, I think I'm just so distracted usually by other things going on around me. And I don't get out as much as I used to these days. But, basically, I was at a workshop for a health condition that I don't think I have, I'm not sure, but I lost someone special to me who does. We knew each other online, we knew her from a place, the venue she worked at, and we hung out a few times. Basically, she has a semi-unique first name. I guess I'm not saying what the condition is. People might, other ones who saw this may recognize this. And honestly, you know what? If she's not holding a grudge to the one, I won't either. And as far as Uncle, I kind of understand how that happened. I kind of don't. I haven't checked the me, but basically, and it's, the bangs were going but she has a name, a first name, let's just say this, that can be said 3 different ways, I would say. And honestly, none of them I hear super often. Except when I knew her, I guess I heard her name fairly often. She also has a pretty unique last name, actually, too. But lo and behold, and they came in kind of, most of the seats were full. There was one other option she could have picked, and even if she hadn't picked that seat, it would have still been interesting. But this middle-aged lady, who was quite a bit older, but everybody gets old, sat down next to me when we all introduced ourselves, and she was right before me in doing so. And I mean, I could have, had a big reaction, but I didn't. However, I did go to the washroom. I had to anyway. Went to the washroom afterwards and thanked her for showing that she was there. She didn't necessarily have to be. I'm not entirely surprised either, but, because, this person had the same first name. And who knows, maybe her last, no, actually, I found out her last name because the leader, stupidly seeing if people were enrolled for the next session, but I'm a picky eater, so I might not go to it, was asking people's last names or whatever. Could have a first name's probably easy enough, but, the friend name. Trying to figure out if it sounds like her name. Anyway, point of the matter is, so that was cool. I was just watching a video with another medium, that I watch, and it was fortunately and sadly about a quite young person. So was my friend, but older than this person, uh, who was still like in grade school, possibly, or early high school, who been bullied to the point of taking his life. And then pretty quickly, I hear Mike, who's someone that my family kind of knew. Me, not so much. When I was younger, we weren't super close. They ran a business in our neighborhood. I heard him say that, and then I wanted to come and do this, so I was sitting looking to see about picking a coffee cup out of the cupboard, and I just couldn't do it. It was the same with trying to figure out something techie earlier. It's like, I've had a long day, I want a nap, I just can't figure it out. Sorry, the music's maybe a bit more, it's lively, and, well, they are in different ways. But, and I was just saying, before we prejudge it, unless you've had your own experiences or are close with someone who has, you know, you can't say. So, basically, and I think Michelle didn't do the like, and the person left. But anyway, basically, I sensed him saying, essentially, people don't have to do that. He told me that my friend, who I was kind of referring to earlier, didn't want to pass away, but, or at least largely didn't want to. Maybe she could have done more for her health. Maybe she was a bit lazy, like a couple people were saying they were today, and like I sometimes am. But, she did the one main thing that she felt she needed to do, and it's a type of condition that sometimes people beat around the bush just to kind of, I don't know how to put it, satisfy themselves or whatever. Like, as far as, or like, they kind of try and get away with things that may not necessarily be good for them to, enjoy the pleasures of life, essentially. But anyway, point of the matter is that, yeah, Mike was saying, a lot of people think they have to do that, but they really don't. I don't want to get too super deep into it, at least not on this channel, and kind of general, but also, I mean, I've been there, a lot of people have been there, right? And basically, was just kind of saying, and you've actually seen the shirt, maybe I won't show it off now. I had it with me today as well as a picture. But, it's really quite cool. There's even a stripe on that car, and it's very well made. But anyway, basically, yeah, it says people don't actually have to do that. They think they do. The bedroom just it's starting to get dark outside. The other day I did went in there not long after waking up from a nap, and it had like really high stats, and a couple people were commenting, and I don't see that super often on the channel these days. Again, there's so much on YouTube. And, well, one thing that I was told, though, by someone who may have actually only been about 14, if I'm remembering the particular person who said it correctly. And, I feel mixed about that, but hey, you know what? I feel like I'm a pretty good influence, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it maybe it's like I'm lecturing, making a speech, but they're used to that in school. I feel like, I don't think that's how to be rotated, well, sometimes I don't really feel up to standing all that much. And at the moment, as far back as I can go, I'm seeing the icons, depending on how straight I stand, right up to above my face, on my face. But basically, yeah, and I know that my content, even though I don't sometimes usually have a filter, I know that, and this is not, I'm just needing to do a stretch or whatever, I know that my content is, pretty kosher and safe. But yeah, basically, was saying people think they have to do this, but they don't really. There are options. He says, you'll understand, Cor, that it's not a selfish thing to do it, but as far as like not thinking of our loved ones, because we do love and care about them, so he says that he feels like it's actually kind of selfish for them to think that they were being selfish if they think that. So, but he says, that that just wants to remind people that there's help. And albeit, sometimes it's hard to access or it doesn't feel adequate, and nothing beats a good friend, I guess, if you can get that in your life, or have that in your life. Um, Good friends shouldn't beat each other. Just kidding. Wow. Anyway, but but yeah. So basically, and that just it was such a strong statement. I felt, that people don't have to do that kind of stuff to themselves. There are people that don't want to pass away, but do pass away, or mostly don't want to. I think a lot of people kind of do a little bit, perhaps, because they likely have loved ones that they hope to see again, um, and that have passed away already, and that kind of stuff, or they're just really tired of life, um, and he says, well, I wouldn't judge anybody that does it, but I will say that they think they have to, but they really don't. There are other ways that they can there are other things they can do instead of taking their life, essentially. I know that's deep, and I wasn't planning to get long on this. I don't really have the energy, and I have other things I got to do at the moment. Usually I have quite a bit of time, but this is the second video today, and possibly the only one tonight that it's been the case. But tomorrow's supposed to be a bit nicer, so I might get a couple of other errands done tomorrow. I thought I'd have to wait a day. But that might work out because I may or may not decide to go to this other workshop. It's about, I forget what it's exactly called, but it's about diet and nutrition. And I could stand to do better in that field, in that area. But at the same time, I'm picky, and there are also certain, like, I'm not one who likes, I put in some chicken fingers tonight, but they were pre-made, pre-breaded. I just had to pop them in the oven. I'm not one who likes to deal with meat and fish, and I don't even eat it that much, but I sure as heck don't cook it. Um, I do actually do some use veggie meats, but yeah. So basically, and yeah, I'm picky. So I mean, I just feel like just kind of like with getting my test from the doctor, it's gonna say, oh, you're low in this vitamin, you're low in this, or it may be that I already have something I already realize I have. The one thing which kind of connects to earlier today that I'm not sure entirely, but I don't really feel like my doctor is the person to go through to find that out. He's just an okay doctor, and that being said, if the tests don't seem to indicate that I do, then and they cover a lot of ground, then maybe I don't. But I still feel like it might be worthwhile to be involved there, because of the person that I lost, and also to learn. Because, one thing I keep feeling is that I could be saving other people's lives by learning this information that they may not yet have, But it's like, well, I have some background in that. Boom. Now they do too, you know? When you talk about it. So, yeah, I'm surprised the connection hasn't dropped, but this isn't the most comfortable spot, but I can at least lean back here, but I'd rather sit there then. But at least it's nicer behind me, I think. And we suddenly have two people watching. But yeah, basically, I also thought it was really powerful how he said that, some people don't want to die, and how he didn't, parts of him didn't either, in some ways, but a lot of him did, you know. And I just wanted to come share that because, message of hope and resilience, hopefully. And, this is a shared channel, and I hesitant to say, comment if you need support, reach out, I'm happy to help because, but then again, I can kind of monitor that a little bit. So, if I catch it and then I see it, then, you know, but yeah, basically, yeah, I just wanted to say that, and I did a video with the title that you matter once, and you matter once, you matter always. Just kidding. You matter, and I think it got a few views, but it really didn't get that much action on it. But and some people say, how can you say that somebody you don't really know? Because most of us do matter in one way or another, and sometimes need to be reminded of that. I mean, there are some very, 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 very low lifes, and maybe I wouldn't include those, to the extreme levels, But humans are complex, and they do a lot of things because of complex reasons. And I mean, someone that wasn't necessarily bad, but had absent parent or whatever, and it affected how she parented. It was so interesting. It was an interview with Rosie and someone that she knew, and she kept saying, go get counseling, but she was saying some pretty darn smart things. And I saw somebody do that on a post recently too. I mean, not just these two, but that come to mind. And it was like, said all this great stuff, and then I said, see counseling. And I said, that's the only thing I kind of disagree with you on, because, that's kind of selling yourself short as being a smart and helpful person. We all can do it. And as far as, you have to, none of us are ever going to be perfect. You can get close perhaps, but so as far as you have to love yourself first, you have to this and that first, no. You can always be working on yourself while also trying to be, those things for others. So, and it goes full circle. So, if you don't know where to turn and you don't want to use a mental health service that's out there, then I would say utilize me. I'm a little geek. I've got time mostly. And I am an empath, and sometimes I care about my shows, but honestly, I don't a lot of the times too. But yeah, so basically, I got to get back downstairs, but and this one is off on the connection stayed thankfully, but it hasn't done nearly as good as the other one. But yeah, it was interesting how after watching that video, I almost heard it instantly, and it wasn't even somebody I was really thinking about that much. And then, of course, it kept repeating in my head, and I just thought, yeah, that's powerful. I should come here and post it. Somebody was here just a second, so I don't feel too bad about finishing it up because I didn't stay. That's always kind of the thing, but when I have more time, but sometimes it doesn't mean it doesn't any better. But thanks for watching. Take care.